All right, folks, today we're going to talk about unconscious bias. Okay, so unconscious bias defined is our background, our personal experiences, our societal stereotypes, and our cultural constructs, our contexts that make us make decisions, and basically there are blind spots or things that we're not aware of. And the facts is that these days it's not just about racial judgment, it's beyond the basics. Over the past 40 years, there's been legislation and policies passed by the government that makes unconscious bias issues, specifically around gender discrimination, illegal. So the unconscious bias issue is being skylined these days. So looking at what's going on in Hollywood, now is the time to confront it and doing something about it. So the context in this discussion is sexism. So sexism is prejudice or discrimination based on a person's sex. Sexist attitudes may stem from traditional stereotypes of gender roles, and may include the belief that a person of one sex is intrinsically superior to a person of another. So here's the reality. This is what's happening right now is it's a man's world, right? Because men have been the ones running the show. And women have been stepping up and raging against their sexual harassment. And basically it's got men running for the hills. What's up with that? What are we going to do about that? So the problem in business is that many times well-intentioned leaders, men and women, are just turning the other cheek. And they're like, oh, the question is like, well, what else could she do with her career in the balance? So there's complicated questions, but our imperative is we got to step up as leaders and confront it. So the 4 ways to do is non-tolerance. If you tolerate it, you're condoning it. Confrontation, it's not about saying no, it's about shouting no. Accountability, holding yourselves and others accountable. That's going to take courage. And consequence, it's all about compliance requires consequence. So now, here's what I'm saying. It's not just about men, it's women too. Women have got bias. Perceptions, marital judgments, petty judgments, judgment against ladder climbers. So we got to confront that. And why is this happening? Why are we as leaders letting it happen? And the result is mistrust, communication, dissension, and division. So what we get to do as leaders is lean in. How is this happening on our watch? So this is how you confront it, ladies and gentlemen. It's you. It's our responsibility to confront this right now. By the way, break out your phones because you want to take a picture of a slide in a second. Because it's got a lot of content. It's going to go by really fast. It's our responsibility to take it on. It's about self-awareness, being enlightened around who we are, why we do what we do, and why our team members do what they do as well. So assessments, DISC assessments, Myers-Briggs, 360s, the AVA assessment. Bob Adamick, who's usually in this room, does a really good assessment called the AVA. We got to take ourselves on and understand why we do what we do. So men and women's minds work differently. It's common sense. We know that it's true. There's the pink brain, the blue brain. Men are convergent thinkers, women are divergent thinkers. It's our responsibility to make that work together. So the value of women in corporate leadership, it's important that we put women in positions of leadership. You can see the statistics on the form, or on the screen here. Companies with women in leadership perform better than companies that don't. It's true. So women are in high demand, and looking at the trends in the future of HR, you can see how many degrees are being earned over the course of the next 10 years. And look at the baby boomers that are retiring. There's basically going to be a net shortfall of 23 million new employees, and those are going to be filled by educated women. We have to realize this. So gender partnership is when every member of your team works productively with every other member, regardless of gender. So men and women learning from one another, basically each other's special skills and talents, and working together and collaborating and realizing the power of that mindset. A lot of it's about listening. The way we've listened in the past is kind of binary, right, wrong, win, lose, hot, cold, either or. It's important to focus on generous listening. What could make that possible? How could I advance this? So the journey to gender partnership is all about securing executive support, including men whenever possible, creating business propositions, transparency and tracking progress, embedding it in your culture, and achieving that pinnacle of gender partnership. This is how it works, and this is what we get to do. So there's 3 powerful leverage points: empowering and supporting women leaders, that's what we got to do, engaging men as full partners, and identifying and transforming institutional blind spots, unconscious bias, and systemic barriers. Here's the picture. You would take a picture of the slide. For men, this is what we get to do, guys. Mentor or sponsor a woman business colleague. Champion equal representation. There's too much content here, but take a picture of it and post it. And men, take this on. Speak up and engage. So, last slide, this is what you as leaders get to do. Identify what men you can enlist and commit to invite them to partner with you. Choose one thing that you can do or to step up within your business and write down that commitment. And by when are you going to fulfill that commitment? That's what it's all about, and that's what it's going to take, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening.